Welcome to Kentucky Roll Call.
Here's a swing and a drive to deep left. Back goes Nixon. Looking up. Daly wins it. Daly wins it. Daly wins it.
With Walker and Peak.
Woodson from the gun. Play fake. Step it up. He's throwing deep down the near sideline. He's got Johnson. 20. Down. 5. Touchdown. Kentucky.
When Mitch called me and talked to me about being the head coach here at Kentucky, I understand the assignment. We are here to win banners.
Back outside. This is the point where he always hits it. Oh! Aaron Harrison beyond belief.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you. April 3rd, 2026. Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to you. It is believed that Jesus was actually crucified on April 3rd. So this would be what? 33 AD. Carry the one. I'm too much math for me. But to all those celebrating, it is a Good Friday edition of Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. TJ Walker, Stephen Peak, producer Matt Childress here. Get your text into the Gameday Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. And we're going to have UK football coach Will Stein on the show today. How about that?
What a big show.
Well, just about 10 minutes. I figured last show, you all cannot understand how frustrating it is dealing with UK to try to get an interview lined up. It's just, they just say no. Like, they just say no. So I did reach out to try to get Mark Pope on the show as well. I wanted to get both head coaches on the show. Mark Pope, unavailable. Got a big fat no from UK on a Mark Pope interview. However, Will Stein, we got that worked out. And I did let UK know, but Will agreed to this. He was just, as long as we can, we'll make it brief, we'll make it quick. He didn't say make it quick or brief or anything like that. He just wanted UK to be in the know about it. UK's in the know about it. Everybody's good. We're going to have Will Stein on here in about 10 minutes or so. How's your all's day going? What's up? What's new?
It's going great. Found out I'm officially married.
Wow.
So there you go.
You did it.
Yep. Got that taken care of.
Was that good news or was that bad news?
It was great news. Great news. Love my wife. So yeah, it was good news, and I'm just happy we got that taken care of. And it's a weird day. It's a big day. I mean, I don't know how many people. Well, I mean, I know how many people, but there's just been so many people reach out to me and ask. So TJ, this is just one big elaborate April Fool's joke TJ's pulling that I have to be a part. Like, you're just in on it too, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure this is his last show, unless it's on me as well, which I don't think TJ's going to do that. I don't expect to come in here Monday and see you, unfortunately.
I will be in Florida.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah. So it's a weird
I was
day.
listening to Sunrise with Scoots 7 to 8 here on Big X Sports Radio. So much great local programming here at the station, and he had that similar sentiment. He was like, yeah, today, I think he got a text about it or something, and he was like, I don't know if TJ's actually leaving or not. I can't tell if it's a joke or not. I think he's leaving, but I have no idea why he would announce that on April Fool's Day. It is true. I am leaving. This will be my last show, and I did it on April Fool's Day on Wednesday just because it was the only day we didn't have a guest on. We had Jacob on Tuesday, had Corey yesterday, and I just didn't want to make it awkward with a guest or anything like that. So that's why I did it. And yes, it was not lost on me that doing it on April Fool's was probably foolish, but that's just the day that we did it. And I didn't want to just come in on Friday and be like, hey, today's my last show. See y'all. So we had like a 2-3 days to talk about it and discuss it. So it is, and I'll be moving on to bigger and no, I'm just going to keep working. I'm just going to be doing the same old that I'm doing. But I don't know. I think Vegas has it at -115 that I'll probably choke up at some point today and maybe just flat out cry. But well, don't have to worry about that right now.
You're coming back, TJ. That's the thing. You're coming back.
Yeah, I hope.
We're gonna. If you want TJ to come back, like we all do, what's your Venmo? What do they need to do? What do we need to do to raise the funds to afford TJ
Look, if you
Walker?
want TJ to come back, go ahead and Venmo me, Matt Childress.
Yeah,
about
Matt's going to collect all the money
per person. I will make sure he gets it.
Listen,
for $10 a day,
I've got a
arms of an angel.
502-414-1450. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to talk about that stuff when we're going to be interviewing Will Stein here soon. So we'll save that stuff for a little bit later.
Yeah.
It is Final Four weekend, one of my favorite weekends of the year. I don't know if you've been paying attention the last few weeks. I've basically said every college basketball tournament weekend is one of my favorite weekends of the year, even conference tournament weekend. So this is just one of them. It's a lot more fun when Kentucky's playing in it. There's no feeling quite like the week waiting for a Final Four game. It goes slower than Christmas. Kentucky, obviously, we haven't experienced that slow week for over a decade now, which is incredibly pathetic and has to change sooner rather than later. But that's a special, and it's a great Final Four, too. So all these, literally, with the exception of UConn, the team that has won 2 championships in the last 3 seasons, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams walked away with a national championship. And that's pretty cool, and it's usually kind of rare. And realistically, I've got some biases against UConn as a team. So happy they beat Duke. Thank you so much, Braylon Mullins. Wish you would have came to Kentucky, but we can discuss that a little bit later. We probably won't, but we could. UConn can definitely win it. It's not all that usual where you go into a Final Four and all 4 teams can actually walk away with the championship. Last year, we did get it, so it's when I'm saying, like, this is unusual, you just have to go back to last year. But obviously, we knew FAU and San Diego State, like those teams, they got to play each other, and one got to advance to the national championship game, and it was an unbelievable, underrated game just because of the names, I think, would be my guess. But that was a hell of a basketball game. Any of these teams can win it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Michigan and Arizona have been the 2 most consistent, probably the best all year. We guarantee get to see that matchup on Saturday night, which is great. But then the winner of that's going to feel like that they just went through a 12-round fight, and then you just have to go back and do it all again 2 nights later on Monday against another really, really good team. I do think Michigan and Arizona are just a little bit above UConn and Illinois.
I think there's a decent amount of space, actually.
Oh, you do, really?
Yeah.
I think Illinois, when they're playing their best, is in the same tier as Michigan and Arizona when they're playing their best. UConn playing its best is not as good as those 3, in my opinion. But I think UConn is probably more consistent. They stumbled a little bit later in the season. But just 4 really, really good teams. But you think there's a big gap between one semifinal and the other?
I do. I mean, I think I look at Arizona and Michigan as like that should be the national championship. But you kind of convinced me earlier this week to just be appreciative that you even get this matchup at all, that you get this in the Final Four at that stage. So it's awesome. I don't think. Like you said, if you're in the national championship game, are you a bad team? Are you going to get blown out? I mean, how many blowouts have we had in the national championship game? I mean, I don't think it's very many. So now what is interesting, I think
that's interesting. I default to thinking that the national championship games more times than not are not overly competitive. Maybe my words aren't right there.
They've all been close.
In your brain, do you envision national championship games as close or not? I view it as like a championship. You're lucky if you get a good one.
Oh, I think most of them.
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, let's just start with the last 10 years. You had Duke over Wisconsin was close. Nova over North Carolina was a buzzer beater.
People forget nobody has any love loss for Wisconsin. They were screwed in that national championship game against Duke.
Were they? I barely remember it.
They were up big at half, if I remember correctly, or at least in the first half they were up big. And then all of a sudden, I think Coach K, he was getting in the official's ear right before halftime, and they totally changed the way they called that game in the second half. Wisconsin really got hosed.
Yeah. Well, 68-63 final in that one. You had the buzzer beater in 2016. 2017, I think Gonzaga and North Carolina was close. No, I think the Villanova they just ran through that Final Four, didn't they? So they beat Michigan. Virginia, Texas Tech, was that an overtime national championship game?
I just remember
it was a close game.
Yeah, no, that was a good game because people were talking about, like, man, if Texas Tech and Chris Beard, that was before the crazy nil.
Yes.
So yeah. So you're going through it, and I guess you're probably right. Of course, the Gordon Hayward game in 2010 against Duke in the championship.
Kentucky and Kansas wasn't really close, but I think if you're a Kentucky fan, you didn't feel amazing, only up 7 there in those closing minutes. We talked about it yesterday, Marquise T getting a 3. So, yeah, I do think that these games are generally close. I think UConn may have gotten 2 blowout victories in their back-to-back titles in 23 and 24. But, yeah, the last time a 2 seed won the national title was, do you know, off the top of your head?
A 2 seed?
2 seed.
I don't off the top of my head.
2016, UConn. 2016 Nova. The last time, the one before that was 2004 UConn, and the one before that was Kentucky. So since 1998, only two seeds have won the national title.
Oh man, that's you're going to talk about that for the rest of your life. You'll be talking about seeds forever. That is fascinating.
Isn't it weird though? You'd think a really seed would win this thing more often.
I totally agree with you. You theoretically could be the 5th best team in the country on Selection Sunday.
Yeah, what's
anywhere
the difference?
from 5 to 9, or 5 to 8. But that is wild. I know why you get so big on seeds.
26 1 seeds have won it since 1985, and 5 2 seeds have won it. This is since the tournament expanded. So I guess look for Michigan or Arizona to win it all. It's most likely to happen. But no, I think this is going to be a fun weekend. I do expect both games to be close on Saturday, and whether that happens again on Monday, we'll see who the opponents are, see who the teams are. But I'm really looking forward to that 8:49 game, Michigan and Arizona. I've been wanting this game all season. We finally get it. I'm as excited about this Final Four as any that recently.
Yeah, and the difference between last year's Final Four too, which all 1 seeds. That's great. You don't have like a Cinderella to root for or anything like that. And you don't really have that this year either.
But you kind of
that's okay.
I feel like you kind of do. I mean, Illinois is very good. They're not a Cinderella.
Sure.
But having a 3 seed and a 2 seed on the other side does give you this underdog story for Monday.
I hear you. I don't buy into it. But fine, fair enough. All the same. I got a text message, so lost my train of thought. Do we have Will Stein on?
Yes, I just got him on.
All right, good deal. That's what I was thinking. So we'll save the Final Four talk and discussion for the next segment, because joining us now, UK football head coach Will Stein. Welcome to Kentucky Roll Call, Coach Stein. How you doing?
TJ, it's good to hear your voice, brother. Steve, I didn't realize you were on this too. It's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we bumped Nick Roush out so he can cover you full time.
Do you have like a training for next battle, like at one point during the year? Like, how does that work?
Well, yeah, we're going to talk to you about that, actually. I want you to recap that 2007 final drive for us, just to rub it in TJ's face on his final day.
West Whiteloff. It was a false start. It was a false start on West. It was a false start on West Whiteloff. Will, I just first want to say you don't need to hear it from me, but proud of you. You're an awesome dude. You deserve all of this. You worked super hard throughout. While everybody else was doing all sorts of shenanigans, you were always working and grinding, and I can't say that I'm surprised that this day came, but maybe surprised it came as early as it did, and very happy that it did.
I'm on the phone.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. No, sorry. Somebody's knocking on my door. I'm trying to do my show with you guys.
Don't they know that you're on Kentucky Roll Call? But very proud of you, and this is incredibly cool to Louisvillians that are UK fans, knowing that the program's in such great hands.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I still like my days at Saints and Molly Malone's and all that stuff. We had a blast back in the day, but I've been a product of honestly great coaches, great people in my life that helped mentor me to get to this point. And you never know when it's going to happen. You just try to do a great job at the place you're at, and every stop along the way, I enjoyed and had so much fun, and was around some unbelievable coaches and great players, and thankfully I've been able to win a lot of games in my career. So it is definitely surreal to be in this chair, and an unbelievable opportunity ahead for us, and just looking forward to, just today and the walkthrough that we had, and then was the first scrimmage tomorrow, so it's going to be exciting.
So, we talked about that 2007 game. I want to talk to you about this because not just because TJ's here, but because I tell people all the time, Will Stein's a winner. Like, you're on that final drive, your senior year. Can you just kind of walk us through that?
Well, I mean, the Dutton twins remind me all the time that they saved my ass when I threw a ball over the middle, and they made a good play, and that was actually a poorly thrown football. But no, it was a drive to remember for sure. Being down, having to go score a touchdown to tie it up, and then go into overtime against a really, really, really good St. X team that I think was undefeated at the time, and threw a little tight end delay to Jeff Negley, and to tie it up, and it was really cool. And actually, I have Coach Coverdale on my staff now here at Kentucky, so it's a full circle moment for me to have my offensive coordinator now be my pass game coordinator here at Kentucky.
St. X would always get you in the regular season, and a lot of people say, Stein, that's really the one that matters the most.
I mean, they never adapted. You guys still ran the same option for fall. We offense throughout the whole year, and when the time mattered, the Rocks went down and made some stuff happen.
Coach Glazer, he got the shillelagh with the umbrella, and that didn't backfire at all. You are a winner. We hope that winning continues at UK. We can have fun and talk shenanigans. We're not going to keep you too long, but I did see your retweet today. UK Athletics extends a partnership with Fanatics to include a nil program. That seems like a big deal for UK across all sports, but especially for your football program.
Yeah, I think any time that we're adapting to the times and pushing the envelope forward is good for not just University of Kentucky, but for college athletics as a whole. So I'm excited about anything that can help our players out and get them the notoriety that they've earned and deserved, and opportunity to get money in their pockets that they've earned and deserved, and I'm a fan for it. So if we're on the cutting edge here in Kentucky compared to other schools, I think that's definitely a bonus for us.
Will, do you feel that you have the resources to compete for a national championship in college football playoffs at the University of Kentucky?
I wouldn't have taken this job, TJ, if I didn't feel like that could be done. I was obviously at an elite spot at Oregon, calling plays for some really good players and working with Dan. So I had this job circled for a long time, just in my mind as a place, not just because it's home. Like, it's easy to say just because it's home and it's Kentucky that's why I'm coming back. I'm here to win, and that's what I've wanted to do, and so I wouldn't have taken a job without those opportunities. Are we where we need to be? I would say not yet, but I think everybody is pushing the envelope throughout college football. So I think everybody's always wanting to get more and more and more. I think what we compiled this season with the roster at hand, I think we're going to be able to go out there and do things that I want to do offensively, defensively, and on special teams. We just got to continue to push and keep adapting. That way we can have the depth necessary to go do what we want to do. But to answer your question, yes, I do believe that I've been getting plenty of resources, but everybody here at University of Kentucky is adapting and pushing the envelope forward so we can continue to improve and continue to excel in all sports.
We love hearing that. We're talking with UK football coach Will Stein here on Kentucky Roll Call, and you had the resources to be able to get Kenny Minchie even after I believe he had maybe committed elsewhere. What do you like about his game? Why was he the quarterback you targeted in the portal? Maybe you could have targeted another guy or two, but this is the one ultimately you settled on.
I love his mental makeup. I love where he came from Notre Dame, being coached by Mike Denbach and Gino DeDooley, two guys that I really respect offensively in college football. So I know he's been trained really well. I love his accuracy. I love his ability to throw on time and in rhythm and the small spaces. He's more mobile than I think I even gave him credit for. He's got some really good wheels on him, and I'm just a smart, dependable person. I think he embodies what we want as a program. He is, you can put him in any room and he's going to fit in, and that doesn't make him, he's a glue guy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I love his mental makeup. And yeah, I love his ability to throw the football. He's shown some really good deep balls this spring so far, but, we have to be able to complete gimme throws. And, last, I think, 4 guys I've had have been over 70% completion percentage, and that's what I'm looking for Kenny this year, is being the point guard there for us on offense and distribute the football to the playmakers.
You said you liked his mental makeup, so I think that's going to answer my next question. But there's just such little tape on him in real game experience, and you know this being under center or on the sidelines, when it's the fourth quarter and the pressure starts to build and the stadium's getting insane, some people just don't have the chops, or they're not cut out for that moment. I hope that Kenny Minchie is. I don't think you'd bring him in if he wasn't, but how do you know that when you haven't really gotten to see that from him?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. We have a lot of metrics that we have even before we bring a guy in on his mental makeup that's available through recruiting services now and through Elite 11 and some different opportunities for us to go out and dive in. Obviously doing background checks through his coaches at Notre Dame and his high school coaches. I should have asked Gino. I said, how good is he? And he said, if we would have played him last year, we would have won 10 games still. So I trust a guy like Gino, who's he went to Highlands and played high-level football, has been coaching for a long time. And when I get that type of information back to me, and then I talk to other NFL scouts that go to the Notre Dame practices, and they say that Kenny Minchie is a dude, he can really rip it. And then when you get him on the phone and you talk to him, I think you just give yourself the best possible insight that you can. You're right, TJ. You never really know with anybody until you're out there in the line of battle. But that's also why we practice the way that we do, which is, put a lot of stress on them. Not just quarterback, but our entire team. We do a 2-minute drive basically every single day. We pump up crowd noise. We have game on the line periods where I just straight up say, hey, it's 4th and 3, gotta have it, and then you're up. You don't even have time to think. So we try to create as much chaos as we can in practice, so when the games come, they are as calm as humanly possible. But, time will obviously tell, and it's our job as coaches to get him in the middle headspace to be able to go out there in the SEC and really in week 1 in Kroger Field against Youngstown State and go out there and execute at a high level.
Will, what is the hardest thing so far that you've learned adjusting from being offensive coordinator to now a head coach in the Southeastern Conference?
Yeah, Steve, I think it's just the day-to-day operations of not only worrying about an offensive staff or offensive players or offensive recruiting. It's the entire program. It's your 105 players. It's your about 30 coaches. It's the strength and conditioning coaches, the nutrition staff, academics, and then you add in just the administration piece and donors, and there's just so many things to do. There's just not enough time in the day to do everything. And then you have a wife, and you have 2 little kids, and you're trying to be a great husband and father. So there's just a lot of juggling that goes on. I think when you get in this role, you just try to pick out 3 to 4 things that you really want to achieve in the day and do your best to check those boxes. And you're not going to get everything done in one day, but to try to be as organized as you can, understanding you had really smart, tough, dependable people to help you, and to let those people go do their job. So I think everything is just new. I don't think it's necessarily hard. We haven't played a game yet, so I'm really, I'm in honeymoon phase still. We're undefeated, so everything's good right now. Our guys are grinding and getting better. But I know there's a lot more tough days down the road. It's just when you have surround yourself with great people, like I mentioned, I think it makes things easier.
Yeah, I don't even know if you've slept since you took the job. One last thing for me. When you were growing up, like a diehard Kentucky fan, watching Kentucky play from those same seats every other week or so, did you ever imagine that one day you were going to take the field as the quarterback for Louisville and throw touchdown passes against Kentucky? What the hell, Will? When I was watching that game, I felt so proud of you and pissed off at the same time. And I was like, this sucks. I want to pull for Will, but he's beating my team right now. How cool was that to throw touchdown passes on the same field your dad scored a touchdown on? How cool was that?
Yeah, it was super surreal. I remember the first time we were playing actually at Coleman Stadium, and that was my first time going against Kentucky. I was a true freshman walk-on, 8th string quarterback. So my impact on the game was basically zero, besides cheering on the guys. It was different when I saw the blue when I went tunnel. I'll never forget. I was just like, wow, this is real. I'm actually at Louisville. You go through at that time nobody really enrolled early, so I had about 2 months of summer prep and then fall camp, and then that was when the first game was UK ago. So it was still fresh. And I remember that first Kentucky Louisville basketball game. I think Jody Meeks was playing for Kentucky. I think he had a bunch of points that year, but it was still different, but just like anything, guys, once you get ingrained in a place and you develop the friendships and the camaraderie and the brotherhood of a team, you grow into that team. So I'm forever grateful for my time there. Obviously, without those experiences, I don't know that I would be here, because I had great coaches that believed in me, that offered me a job to coach, and then you just find your way in the profession, and then you end up back at Kentucky. So everything happens for a reason, which is really cool. And again, to be here, to sit in this chair, to wear the blue and white again is really, really surreal to me. I was at my mom's actually this past weekend, and we had just pictures kind of everywhere in her house, and she's got this big box, and it's just stacks of pictures. I'm sure all of our parents have these still, and it's just I mean, it was like picture after picture after picture of me as a little kid in Kentucky gear, and about every picture. So it reminded me of again, how special this place is, how special it is to represent Big Blue Nation and in an unbelievable city of Lexington. And to do it at a place that I love and grew up loving, it's just it's an awesome opportunity. And looking forward to getting on the field on Saturdays in the fall with the guys.
Yeah, shout out to Sissy Cakes. That was the Edgar Sosa shot, and just a quick little story, real quick, Will, and we'll get you out of here. But after that game, Edgar Sosa hits that shot. I'm at Freedom Hall watching it, and I run into a mutual friend of ours.
Didn't he have a bunch of points? Oh,
yeah, and Louisville was like a top 10 team, and this was a Billy Gillespie Kentucky team. So the fact Kentucky was in the game and tied it, and Edgar Sosa even had to hit that shot was kind of unbelievable in its own right. But I run into Adam O'Brien after the game, a friend of ours that we know, and I'm going to like, hey, that was a great basketball game. You got us this time. And he just flips me off. I mean, a good friend of mine just flips me off. But it's the day of the UK U of L game. That's what this rivalry can do to people. And maybe he's just also not that good of a friend, come to think of it, now that I'm saying it out loud. But, get that Governor's Cup trophy back in Lexington, Will, please. That's all that we're asking.
Well, that's the goal, right? The goal is to win every single game. And obviously this rivalry is huge. And, even just in the past few weeks, I think with the recruiting wars that are going on and just some of the banter online, it's all part of it. That's why sports are the greatest thing in the world. And without them, I think all of us would be lost. And so, we only got so much stuff to talk about with our family and friends. We got to have sports, and you got to be able to talk trash, and that's part of it. So I don't think anybody should shy away from it. I think the trash talking, will continue, and especially when you have two Trinity guys leading the respective programs of the state of Kentucky. So it's going to continue. It's only going to get even more competitive as we get closer to the season. But, I know they got a bunch of games for the last game of the season, so do we, and so really just continuing to try to get better and find our groove as we enter our first spring scrimmage tomorrow morning. It's going to be exciting.
Great stuff. Producer Matt, he's a U of L fan. Did you have anything for Coach Stein?
I did. I had one question for you. Like TJ said, as the resident U of L fan here on Kentucky Roll Call who got to watch you play through your basically entire U of L career, is there a little bit a part of you that is almost excited for the next season, getting to come back to Cardinal Stadium and play against the team that you got to play in college, but on the other sideline? Or I guess you're coaching, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm excited about everything right now. Everything is something that I'm just looking forward to, and I'm not trying to be cliche and coach talk, because I know every coach says coach talk. But I cannot wait for September 5th. I can't wait. I really can't wait to see our guys out there in Kroger Field, in front of Big Blue Nation and putting a product out there that everybody's proud of. And I really am just so focused right now on our process. And, we're nowhere near where we need to be, but I do feel the growth from our guys from day one being on the job to now on April 3rd. So, that day will come, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff leading up to that week. But until then, just trying to continue to focus on what we got in front of us, which is we got a family barbecue tomorrow. All of our players' parents will be here and be able to connect with them and watch their son go out there in Kroger Field tomorrow and get a good scrimmage in.
He is UK football head coach Will Stein. You have a beautiful family, Will. I'm glad you're leading this program. It's in good hands. Have a great Easter weekend, and we'll talk to you down the road.
All right, TJ. See you, Steve. Thanks, guys. Go Cats.
Thanks, Will. See you. Go Cats. That was Will Stein on Kentucky Roll Call. Amazing stuff. I was like, hey, we'll get you on. I promise you we're not going to keep you long. Like 5 to 10 minutes tops.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the agreement.
No, but he was leading the conversation. So that was fun. And I feel like we could have gone another 30 minutes just like that.
Are you surprised at how good at this he already is?
No, because he brings it up every time. He's like, look at the people that coach me. They all are winners.
Yeah.
But he does. You hear him and you get excited. Spring game, April 18th, be there. That sends a message to recruits and people in the portal later that, hey, these fans actually support this program and the direction that it's going.
Yep, good point.
Spring game, April 18th. You do need tickets, but they're free. But you will have to get them, and don't wait. Go ahead and get them right now. 11 a.m. on April 18th. That's 2 weeks from tomorrow. How exciting. All right, good stuff from Will Stein. We'll come back. We'll read some texts and take this show in another direction. Kentucky Roll Call, Big X Sports Radio. Welcome back. I got Billy Shrink's Friday for the final show. Kentucky Roll Call, Stephen Peak, TJ Walker, producer Matt Childress. A special thanks to Will Stein. We were just kind of raving during the commercial break about how cool that was. I'm pretty tough on myself for like interviews and radios and stuff like that. I was like, that went well. I'm a tough critic, and I thought that went pretty well. And it was all because of Will Stein. It wasn't anything that I did or anything. I didn't mess it up. So I guess that was good. Most humble radio guy. Who's going to take that crown after I get out of the game? That's a good.
I don't know. I think we got to retire the jersey.
Probably maybe Alan Cutler. I think.
Definitely.
Probably Cutler.
Yeah, I think that's.
But that was just like if you ran into Will out in public, that he just was talking shop, which I guess I didn't expect anything different. But he could have done coach speak. You could have told like in the tone of his voice that he wanted to get off the phone. You didn't get that from him. If anything, I was like, all right, I only told you 5 or 10, and we need to get you going. He probably would have kept going. That was cool. Cool to hear about Minchie. It all starts with the quarterback, really. If you have a terrible quarterback, even if you have all the other good pieces elsewhere, you may not win at the level that you want. Still got to see it, though. And Will Stein said as much. We got to see it. We got to play the games. And I couldn't be more excited for this upcoming football season. Maybe enough to get me to come back.
Yes.
I do want to cover a Will Stein.
You got to cover a Will Stein season.
It would be a lot of fun.
You guys,
it would be a lot of fun.
Telling me in the break how you are hanging out at Saints.
No, I said that was the last time I think I saw him, which was many years ago.
I just mean that's what I mean. You have going. When's the earliest that you all were ever hanging out? Like how far back do you go?
I think like 7th grade.
See, that's what I'm saying. It will never stop being weird to me that Will Stein is the head coach of the Kentucky football team. It won't. Like that is crazy to me. For one, it would be weird enough if a 36-year-old was the head coach of Kentucky football.
That's a good point, yeah.
Like that would be weird. But I played against Will Stein. I'm wearing the jersey right now of the Louisville Lumber Company, our AAU team, Will's old AAU team. I mean, it's so weird. And I firmly believe that Will Stein is going to do great things at Kentucky. Don't you? I mean, is there any doubt in your mind that he is going to have Kentucky in position to be in the playoffs at some point, probably even sneak into the playoffs? Do you see that? Or am I setting the bar too high for the Will Stein era? What do you think?
I feel like people have said this with other coaches and whatnot. If Will Stein can't do it at Kentucky, then truly probably nobody can. It probably just will be the tombstone of the program that, like, we tried, we can win at a decent clip, but it's just never going to get to the level of the other big wigs in the SEC. So Kentucky's a really hard job to win, and especially in the nil era. I think that in some instances has maybe made a 1-year run more likely, but it also it doesn't make it any easier necessarily just on the year to year, because Alabama has more money than you, and LSU, and you can go down the list. Now, if you fundraise and all the stars align and you can have a really good team for a year and you can go dominate the portal and feel really good, and then if you win, you'll probably keep getting money like IU's getting. The ball can get rolling that way, but you got to get the ball rolling. And it's so hard to do that at Kentucky with the schedule. And as long as Brahms at U of L, which if he's not kicking out the AD, but who knows, maybe he won't be there all that much longer potentially. Did we ever really get into that, by the way? I think maybe briefly touched on it.
Very briefly a couple days ago, yeah.
Well, we should ask Stein what he thinks about that.
Yeah, sure. I wanted to ask
things I didn't get to Stein, that and the Power K. Wanted to ask about the Power K.
Well, did you see what he was wearing at the press conference last Saturday?
He's been wearing a lot of Power K.
I know.
A lot of sources say the Power K is back in a big way. I wonder if he would have wanted to break that news on roll call. Would have been cool.
That would have
missed
been cool.
opportunity.
Oh,
now the interview.
Hey, call him back up, Matt. You got his number. Call him up.
He's still on.
Okay.
He's just been listening.
Yeah, just long-time listener, Will Stein, first-time caller. But that was really cool, and I enjoyed a lot of what he was saying, and really the way he's carried himself through this. I said right before he went to break, are you surprised at how good I'm not surprised that he's handled the media stuff as well as he had. I'm really not. But he's handled it really well, I think. I mean, look, it's easy right now. He hasn't lost a game yet. No one is doubting him. In fact, I mean, everybody is hyping Will Stein up. The national media is maybe the most surprising to me. The national media seems to really love Will Stein, and the expectations that they're putting on the program. I think I am sort of not pump the brakes necessarily. Will Stein, or at least I don't want to, like, I don't think they're going to go 9-3 next year. Like, I think that
breaking news.
That schedule is really tough. But a wise man once said, if you're scared, go to church. So I do think that eventually Will Stein is going to have a team that you're going to think, can they compete for, like, something crazy? Like, can this team actually win some games in the playoffs? Like, is it possible that they could get to a national championship game? Like, I don't think any of these things, for real, like, I don't, until it happens, I will never, ever, ever expect Kentucky to win a national championship. But what I was getting at earlier, Will Stein is a winner. No matter where that dude has gone and where he's played and what sport he's played. Did you see him taking hacks at Kentucky Proud Park?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a good swing. He's a good basketball player. He's a good football player.
He really is living life.
Yeah, I know, man.
And no, but I think he will. So I say if he can't get it done at UK, then nobody can. Obviously, there could be somebody out there, right? Nobody thought Kurt Signetti was going to go to IU and do the things that he did. So it is theoretically possible. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's theoretically possible that there could be a human in the future that could lead UK football to success. I don't know. It's pretty crazy, but maybe there's somebody else out there besides Will Stein. But keep coming back to it. The dude's a winner. He's surrounded himself with winning. All he knows is winning. He's obsessed with it. But Kentucky football doesn't have a rich history in winning, so something's got to give here. I think he'll figure it out. Does that mean he's going to be winning national championships or UK has gone to the college football playoff and back-to-back seasons? I don't think, it's probably – I just think we're going to be happy with the football product. I think we'll have fun football seasons. Does that mean college football playoff? I bet he'll get there one time. I bet he'll get there. I'll guarantee that Will Stein will get to the college football playoff as the head coach at the University of Kentucky. Mm-hmm. But I was telling Pete during the break, Kentucky's a fan base where I'm not saying you can go 3-9 and have a big win and everybody's cool with it, or you can go 2-10, but as long as you beat Louisville, that won't track. It just won't track. But you can be like 7-5. You can be 8-4. You can be 7-5, but you had 2 ginormous wins. Yeah. That tracks. That will get you somewhere. You can go 8-4 with a win over Louisville. People are going to be okay with that. So, not to say that if he's just constantly the program just kind of gets stale and it's 7-5 and 6-6 and it doesn't really feel like you're going up any higher than that. Well, that will be a different conversation. But he just knows football he's too smart to fail, in my opinion, and he's too competitive to fail. Maybe that's wishful thinking. There's obviously some biases that go in with my opinion of Will Stein as the head coach at UK, but dude knows what he's doing. And if he doesn't, he will ask people that do know. And that's another, I think, great about him is that he'll ask for help.
Hire smart people.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
And he'll surround himself, and I think he'd be the type of guy that would be like, what am I missing here? What do you all think we should do in this situation? Not so much that he's going to fold under pressure, and neither will Kenny Minchie. That was a great answer he gave about just like, we don't know for sure. We won't know until we know, but I called Notre Dame's coach, and I talked to some people.
Didn't you like hearing that Notre Dame felt just as confident that they could roll Minchie out there and still win 10 games?
Yeah, and I think they would say anything else necessarily, but they had that Hard Knocks-like show, and it did seem like it was legitimately, kind of a coin flip quarterback battle. It could have gone either way. So I will just take them at their word because it's convenient for my feelings.
It sure is. But the other thing is that I do wonder what some of the feedback, like we know that Kirby put in a good word for Vandegrift, and that I guess because that would have been who was the that would have been Liam Cohen, right? Mm-hmm. That brought in. So Liam, I think, knows how to evaluate quarterbacks and all that. So I think Kentucky fans for the last several years have been sort of skeptical about these transfer quarterbacks. And so for me, even though I totally trust Will, and I'm a little bit more optimistic going into this season, obviously, I think it does. We just gonna have to see it to believe it. And it's not that I don't trust Notre Dame or Will Stein. I see the videos. Kenny Minchie looked good. A lot of the guys looked good in the highlight reels they put out for the last few years. So yes, the last was the last 3: Devin Leary, Vandegrift, and then who
Will Levis.
Well, Levis was great, but I'm blanking on the money guy.
Devin,
get your money up.
Calzada.
Yeah, Zach Calzada. Yeah, so, like, that's where I'm a little skeptical, but I'm anxious to man, I can't believe we still have how many months?
I know.
5 months?
I know. It's a good time to get out of radio.
We're just going to hype up, talk Kenny Minchie speculation for 5 months.
This is actually just me hibernating from, like, there's nothing going on in the summer. We do have the World Cup. There's actually a lot going on this summer. But this is
Kings,
just my
baby, the Kings.
This is the Kings.
Kings
Hell
country.
yeah. Big game tomorrow. We'll talk about that maybe with producer
I
Matt.
wanted to ask Will Stein if he'd have gone for it on that 4th and 1 with his team up, too.
Oh, yeah. He may have some takes on Chris Redmond's decision-making there. Yeah.
How about 3 Louisville quarterbacks running football in this state?
I will say for Trinity, like, Trinity should be incredibly proud that they have.
Yeah.
And it's not like, their football program is the best in the state. They know that. They don't need any, like, recognition outside of that.
Okay, I thought you were saying it's not like it's.
No, like they're obviously
Okay.
They're the top of football. They know
Right,
that.
yeah.
And understandably so. But to have the coaches leading UVL and UK come from your
wild,
high
man.
school, I mean that's pretty cool for them. So happy to beat them in basketball. Go Tigers.
I mean, what does that do for Trinity's? I was going to say recruiting, but I mean,
Well, if you had a son that was in 7th or 6th grade and a pretty good football player, I love St. X, and I would point them and push them towards St. X, and I'm excited for this new coach at St. X. But
now you got connections.
you want to be
that's
serious about football?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that at St. X, of course, too. But no, it's a hell of a program. All right, too many nice things about Trinity. Let's move on. Peak, stop being a downer, man. 9-3 is realistic to me. This ain't Stoops, baby. This is Stein time. Speak it into existence. 9-3. 9-3.
Why stop there?
And the beauty
11-1.
Seriously, Will Stein would be like 9-3. I'm not.
Why did we lose 3 games?
I don't want to concede 3 games, and I love that attitude about him. The schedule is tough.
Is this the most
tough schedule?
confident you've? I mean, okay, yes, I was confident going into 2022.
That Youngstown game is going to be fun. That is going to be a day to be at Kroger Field. I'm sure it'll be 116 degrees, but make that. Well, do you want that to be a noon, a night game? I don't care. That one's going to be a fun one with Will Stein's first game as the head coach. And then the next week is Alabama coming to town.
Yeah,
Also a fun
Welcome
one.
to the SEC, Will.
Exactly.
Hey, at least it's not Nick Saban.
Imagine if he wins that one.
I mean,
imagine if he wins it.
Can you imagine? So
We'll be
here's,
going.
here's the dilemma I have, and I'm going to get your advice on this.
We get Lane Kiffin in Lexington this year.
Zach Gagan, he works for KSR. We all know Zach. He's posts probably the most out of anybody. So if you're on KSR, you're probably reading a Zach Gagan article. He's getting married that weekend. He's invited me to the wedding.
Alabama?
Yes.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh, heavens.
I was
Will Stein's first SEC game?
I know, and I'm like, did we not check the schedule?
You have to work, don't you? You can't go to the wedding. You got to work.
That's so.
Wow, maybe he didn't want any of his coworkers to go to the wedding, and that's why he did it.
I'm wondering.
Genius.
If
Smart
because
man,
I didn't,
Zach.
I didn't invite him to mine, and because I kept mine kind of small, and he said he was going to do the same thing, and then I know he wants to invite Jack, but Jack covers football from afar, so
It's a genius idea. If you don't want,
if you didn't actually want me there, that'd be a good day to do it. So I have to ask. I don't know. I have to ask off, I guess. But there's a part of me that's like, I don't really want to miss that game. Like, I want to go to Zach's wedding because
obviously, UK Alabama is much more important than Zach's wedding. We can all just call a spade a spade.
Okay, I'm glad you said it, not me. But it's a huge dilemma because I mean, if he wins that game, what's going to happen?
All the UK fans that are going to make their way down to College Station.
State Street is going to be a madhouse. People are going to treat that
We'll
like
start the Colossus of Stein immediately.
Now they're probably not going to win that game, right? I mean, maybe they can, but like I'm trying to be realistic.
Not a lot of tape on the Cats. Alabama's not going to know what they're getting into.
That's true. But
isn't it like, listen, I'm with you. Alabama's going to be favored in that game, and understandably and rightfully so. But the fact that we're even talking about dreaming of a win against Alabama when Louisville just kicked our teeth in 40-0 the last time we got to see our team play a game is a miracle. I mean, it's a miracle. It really is. So if Stoops was back, this would just be so terrible. And shame on Mitch Barnhart for that contract where it almost seemed like he may be back. He had thrown in the towel. Nil just wasn't it for Stoops.
$30 million.
But I will say this. They found the money. Stoops is willing to play ball, which we appreciate, and we appreciate the good years of Stoops. There was a lot of fun times there.
But even
with him.
in the good years, have you seen Kentucky fans, like, walk around with their chest out about the football team like I'm seeing.
2018 was a fun time. Getting
during
to
the
play
season,
Georgia for an SEC championship.
during the season, 100%.
SEC East championship.
But going into a season, in the off season, have you ever heard of Kentucky football fans being like this?
No, 2021, I think people were expecting big things and actually delivered.
I think 22 was the only time that I can remember that it was going into the season.
Yes, 22. So, no, but not like this, though. And the thing is, we have no idea. They could end up just being terrible, right? What if Will Stein isn't a good coach and the transfer portal players he put together aren't very good? But you know what? We're going to dream big for him, and I think it's going to be a fun year. And I do think I could definitely see it being a good game against Alabama, and I could see Kentucky winning that. Why not? College football is totally different than it used to be.
Yeah.
You're starting over. You're building teams from scratch. You can get good in a year. You don't have to, we got a good recruiting class, 3 or 4 years. Watch out for these guys. You don't have to do that anymore. We're not doing
more parity.
Yeah.
Should be a lot more parity.
All right.
The teams in this conference and the Big Ten, those teams, I think from top to bottom, eventually it's going to be like closer to what the NFL is. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's already like that. I mean, that's when you have Indiana winning a football championship, we're already there. It's just, it's like the Jaguars. Well, the Jaguars are never going to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, think about how close Kentucky was. They should have beaten Texas last year.
Yeah,
and we would have said, that team was terrible last year. Well, they were that. I mean, I know close doesn't count, but they did. I mean, that's so. There is some reasons to think that maybe the days of, so many times when I was a kid, leaving a game at halftime, it's 49-0. I would like to think that those days are behind us.
Well, you'd like to think. When I started doing radio at Big X Sports Radio 13 years ago, we would beg for text messages into the show. We, as in me, I did the show. Had a producer named David Yates. Shout out to David Yates. And we would talk, and we'd have a little back and forth, but it'd mostly be like, all right, people, text in so I can read your text and then comment on it. And early on, we didn't really have any. And then that grew, and it got to a point where with Roush, we would stay after, the show would go 7 to 9, but sometimes we would just be on the air till 9:30 for the love of the game. But we just wanted to finish reading your text messages. So I can't thank you all enough over the last 13 years for texting into the show and being a part of it and getting to know some of you all personally via the text line. I can't thank you enough. I always just felt like with radio shows, you could call in maybe, or they may read your text message, but it always was just going to be convenient to the host, right? Like I'll read something that makes me sound smart or that is praising me, telling me how great or good I am or something like that, which is probably a bad time for me to say this because there are texts that are saying nice things about me on the text line today, and I do appreciate that. But I just wanted people to be heard on a sports radio show. Like, you have an opinion, we will comment on it, right? If you all are nice enough to take the time to listen and then send a message into the show, the least we can do, right? You are listening to us. The least we can do is at least read it. And over the last year or 2 years, we've gotten away from reading every single text message just because it got to a point where we couldn't. There was just way too many of them. But for the first several years of roll call, it was every text message would be read if you texted in. We don't get to do that as much. There are some days that we'll hit all of them, but not nearly as much as I would like. But that's just the show. You get busy. We have guests on. It just you run out of time in 2 hours. All a long way for me to say thank you. And let's head on over to the Gameday Men's Health text line. Gameday Men's Health, redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Testosterone, peptides, weight loss, and sexual performance therapy. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com, defining a new era in men's health. Super easy at Gameday Men's Health, and appreciate them sponsoring this text line that's been so great to me over the years. Indiana laid the blueprint, and they don't have nowhere near the fan base we do. Let us be really good in football, and we will overtake football. Yeah, so good text into the show. Here's the thing, though. Kurt Signetti, you need one of them. You need one of him. Is Will Stein that? I hope so, but I think Signetti has, on one, how can you not? He makes it look so easy that if you're a UK fan
for a lot longer,
or you're a U of L fan, or you're just a program, and Louisville's got a more recent rich history in football than Kentucky does. But if you see that and you think, well, if they can do it, then we can do it. But you have to have a genius running the operation. And I believe that Will Stein can. I think one thing that would maybe make me a little bit nervous if I'm producer Matt is that Brom has won big, but what does he just need more money to get better players, and then that's how he takes it to the next level?
Probably.
Or is he what he is, a coach that can beat anybody on any given Saturday, probably due for a stinker once a year, if not more than that, and just kind of seems like his ceiling is really good but not championship good. And that's great, right? Like
Most schools would take
UK
that.
fans would take that.
Yes.
But at least we can kind of dream big that what if Will Stein is Kurt Cignetti? I think that's fun too. So IU did lay the blueprint, but you have to have a genius that's running the operations. And then the money will come. Like Kentucky, I think, can fund a competitive football program, but you have to win, obviously. And hopefully Will Stein's going to be doing that this fall.
I do like this texter. UK Rob says he's beating Bama and that I better not go to that wedding.
Football over friends, LOL. Look at TJ being a Big J journalist, pulling the big-time interviews. Great job, buddy. Just thankful for Will and Slacks at UK for allowing it. But, that was the last day of radio school to be able to talk to Will on the show. So we never got Stoops. So now I've gotten the UK basketball coach and the football coach, right? It only took 13 years to make that happen. Way to go. We did it, everybody. Dang, Sports Talker. TC from Lexington here. Been a long time, but miss seeing you go. Been there since day one. Thanks, TC from Lexington. Hope you're doing all right. Hour number 2, Kentucky Roll Call, coming up next. My last here on Big X Sports Radio.
you personally, I think we ain't doing it.
With Walker and Peak.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Kentucky Roll Call here on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. I'll have a little bit more free time. Maybe I'll use that 2026 Big X Sports Radio golf card. Best deal in the game. Park Mammoth, Old Capitol, Elk Run, Valley View, Wooded View, Christmas Lake, and Santa Claus, Indiana. It's valued, those greens fees, over $350, but you will play all of them and pay under $150. How about that? Over $200 in savings at some of the nicest courses in the area. Still need to get out to Old Capitol. Kind of ridiculous I haven't been out there. Haven't played Christmas Lake, but all the other ones I can tell you, they're fun. You'll have a good time, especially Park Mammoth. That is one of the nicest courses in the state. BigXSportsRadio.com to get yours, or 812-725-1457. 812-725-1457. If you want to get your Big X Sports Radio golf card. They will run out. Gameday Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Text on in. We'll do our best to read it on air. We briefly touched on, we interviewed Will Stein in hour 1, wherever you get the podcast. Go check it out. But we're on YouTube as well. Sorry, lost train of thought again. Got another text message. But what do you think about this Fanatics deal, Nil? Is this good? Is it bad? Honestly,
I don't see how it could be bad.
I need somebody smarter than me just to tell me.
What exactly is the actually, a lot of people don't like
Fanatics. People hate Fanatics. Fanatics gets dragged.
It was the one thing on Happy Hour yesterday that people said, oh, Fanatics isn't everybody's favorite. But, I mean, all of these, isn't this the whole point of the JMI thing, that they go out and they get these partnerships so that the money's waiting there for the players that they're going to bring on?
What are they getting out of this besides just, is it literally just a brand deal, so they're just giving Kentucky money to say they're partner with them, or are the Kentucky getting something from Fanatics out of this besides just money?
I think they're getting like the Fanatics platform where these players can, again, I loosely read it. They can do their own like marketplace, which I think just means like Fanatics is setting up their own shop for them. Don't worry about anything. People can buy stuff right through Fanatics. It goes into your pocket.
Yeah, and it'll be like it says here that'll be Fanatics will also work with a handful of student athletes to spotlight new UK merchandise product collections across its e-commerce network and brick and mortar retail. So like they're going to have these Kentucky players showing off new merch, and I'm sure they'll get a cut of that.
I just think it's always a shame you have to go to like State Line for cool UK stuff, or Home Field. They were a friend of the show for a couple of years. Maybe a year. But if you want like the coolest UK gear,
yes,
you don't get it from UK, and they need to change that.
They don't. It's like they don't get it.
Now, if you want a $130 hoodie, that's the place to go.
Yes,
they're great at that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like Home Field does the same thing, but people buy them because they look cool, and to not embrace the throwback logos and all of the stuff from the 90s. As soon as you announce Mark Pope, all of that stuff should have been, we got to get the old UK logo, put it on some T-shirts, put it on hoodies. And I know because they're so caught up in protecting the brand, and this is our official logo. Well, does anybody love the official logo anymore? No. So, like, the 90s were back. Louisville went back to the dunking cardinal bird.
Yeah, I hope UAD is just like, we're just going to have fun with it because it's sports and athletics, and this is supposed to be fun. So we'll give you a Wildcat's tongue with the wiener thing. We'll get you the Power K, whatever you want. We'll get it all for you. 502-414-1450, Gameday Men's Health text line. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, NCAA considering a rule that would, hey, you enter the draft, you can't go back to college. You like that?
Yeah, I mean, are they going to be able to enforce the rule?
Well, can they enforce anything is a fair question at this juncture of college athletics, but let's just pretend that they could enforce it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. I mean, we got to draw a line somewhere. I know Matt Jones always says that it's without a punishment, there's no rule. So how are you going to enforce it? I guess they didn't really enforce it, but it got enforced with the Bediako stuff at Alabama. So I guess that it's as long as we are able to police this in some way, I'm for it. And I don't know. I mean, there was a time when I was saying, what does Kentucky got to do? We have to go to the G League, get some players. I don't know what does this do for Dink Pate? Is there anything with him? Would that affect anything for his eligibility?
Yeah, it's probably not something that they're just going to snap their fingers and get it enforced right away anyway. Yeah. So I think Dink Pate would be grandfathered into the shenanigans.
Okay, so
I'm all for this.
Did they have a date?
It's pretty simple. Hey, if you want to say goodbye to your college eligibility, enter the draft. If you don't, then don't.
Did they put a date? Did they attach a date to this as to when this will go into effect, or is it? Because I didn't see that. If they did,
no.
Okay, so
it would take effect if approved. Oh, it would be this fall semester. Oh, interesting.
Okay, so maybe it affects.
Very well seems like it could affect Dink Pate.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. And then that guy from overseas, I know Kentucky,
but I don't think he ever officially entered the draft.
Okay.
Oh no, he did in 2025. He did. So he would be ineligible.
Okay, so now no more Dink Pate.
Well, if this goes through, then I guess that would mean no more Dink Pate. You'd have to say goodbye to your Dink Pate. Goodbye, Dink Pate.
Dink Pate dreams.
A lot of Dink
My
Pate
dreams
talk.
of Dink Pate cutting down nets in Detroit are crushed already.
What'd you make of the Mark Pope tweet?
Ooh. The bumpy flight one?
After a bumpy start, my pilots found the perfect zone. Not too high, not too low. Clear skies ahead. Let's go BBN. All right, that's weird.
He's not getting too high. He's not getting too low.
Is this some Taylor Swift lyric? May need to reach out to my sister-in-law, see if this is like a Swiftie thing or something like that. Well, Mark Pope's a little poetic.
No, yeah, he likes to quote some Shakespeare and some Swifties. And is he a Swiftie? Is Mark Pope? Can we go ahead and label him?
Maybe this was in Hamilton somewhere, and I didn't see it.
I did.
But, do you think this could mean that UK got Joel Foxwell committed? What are you laughing about?
Because I don't think that.
Because Joel Foxwell, transfer portal player, averaged 16 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds per game, and a steal and a half. He was first team all WCC. He played for the Portland Pilots. Then
my pilots found the perfect zone. Oh man!
Not too high, not too low.
Okay.
Clear skies ahead.
Okay. Now where you going with this?
The last part I don't really have a connection, but the Pilots part, if he's playing a little word game.
Did they play zone?
Yep.
No.
I think they do play zone.
Not too high, not too low. How tall is he?
He's a height.
Okay.
He's a size.
Not too high, not too low?
That's exactly right.
Oh, my gosh. He probably was thinking to say this.
He's 6'1".
This is every Taylor Swift fan listening to a new song.
Well, that's what we're doing.
I know. I'm saying this is a very accurate.
And he's from Australia. Any Australia hints in that tweet?
Clear skies ahead.
What's the weather in Australia right now?
Oh, clear skies.
It's clear skies. That's
I'm looking it up.
I don't know. It was a weird tweet, but admittedly, I kind of had fun with it. Normally
clear
I think
skies.
Like a grumpier me would be like, just win game, Pope. Get off the Twitter. But, we need something to get excited about. So, tease us, please us, get us some transfer portal players.
Bobby Reagan said, this is the new version of walking on the beach this morning, doing a little thinking when I saw footprints in the sand. Reminded me of the poem, Footprints in the Sand.
Nothing's ever going to top that.
That was so. How long ago was that?
Was Producer Matt, I'm told somebody dropped something off at the front door. Can you go check?
Sure.
Thanks. We won't take it. I won't take it to a break or anything. The station will be okay if you don't mind. Thank you. We'll have to figure out what it is.
Oh, man. Oh,
not too high, not too low. I don't know what Pope's talking about, but, the portal's not open, so I guess although Tennessee got a commitment. But I would take this guy. I watched Portland play a couple games, maybe 3, and he didn't necessarily stand out, admittedly. But didn't watch a ton of them, but he's got great numbers.
Ooh.
There you go. Awesome analysis.
KSR did just put out a link here. That the NCAA is considering a rule change that could impact Kentucky's recruitment of Dink Pate.
Okay.
So there you go.
Oh, there. Great. We're on the verge of maybe, does it save Mark Pope from a whiff in that recruitment potentially? But we're on the verge of getting the Dink Pate, and then the NCAA has to go and stop it. We'll see. We'll see if it ends up happening or not. Let's read some more text into the Gameday Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Only Mark Pope could corny post from the private jet. Yeah. UK sports are so pathetic. The sports talker is hanging up the mic.
Is that what it is, TJ?
It's just I couldn't talk about that.
If they were winning, how much do you think you would walk away if they had been winning these last couple years, or is it just
tough to say? I needed a break regardless, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to do it.
Did Mitch Barnhart run you off this show?
Yep, sure did. Sure did. I play, another texter says, after Stein's first season, everyone's going to be saying Kurt Signetti who. I love it. I love it. I feel like Will could be successful here, but my worry is all the front office BS. Will they do enough for him to take this program to the next level? Also, good luck, TJ, and God bless. Thanks. Yeah, it's a good question. That's going to be the next AD's problem. Mitch Barnhart was always good, with the exception of John Calipari, of keeping his coaches seemingly happy. Mm-hmm. With one ginormous Hall of Fame exception. But, so if he was around, I'd be like, I bet they're going to keep Will happy. I will say this, though. Will's, I think, going to be the guy, and you heard it in his answer. Go back, listen to the podcast. He's going to be the guy. If he needs more, he's going to say it. I don't think he's going to hide. I don't think he's going to be like Mark Pope and necessarily be Mr. Buddy, nice guy. We can work this out. I think if things get bad enough or he's desperate enough, I think he'll just go public and say, like, hey, we need these resources. We need this. We need that. I think he'll be that type of dude. But if he wins, he's not going to have to worry about that stuff.
Do you think there's a different dynamic once Mitch is gone, that that's not the guy who hired me? And that could work one or two ways. One, with the guy who hired you, you might feel a little obligation to not call them out publicly. But number two, you may not. That guy obviously trusted you. Does the new guy trust you? All of this, I'm saying and realizing in real time, it probably isn't going to matter because it's probably going to be I just don't see Kentucky going outside of the organization to bring in an AD.
Sadly agree.
But if it was, does that play a different? Does that make a difference in either direction, positive or negative, as far as like?
We would have to see. We'd have to wait and find out. But UK football gets to winning, money's going to be there. It's just that's going to be the fact. Now it'll always end up being something else, right? And that's I alluded to it. I never really touched on it. But Will Stein said as much. He's like, I wouldn't have came here if I didn't think I had the tools to win. But he was smart to be like, but it can always be better. There can always be more money in the banana stand. So
there's always money in the banana stand.
And that's true. Like it can be good, but why not take it up a notch? And I think Will's probably going to have about 2 years having resources, having plenty of money. If those 2 years go well, that will keep happening. If they don't go so hot, then he's going to probably have to start kind of going out of his way to fundraise, and that's where things can get a little slippery, is when people don't feel like they're kind of throwing their money away, so they're not going to invest. But right now, he's got all of it, and for good reason. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun fall for UK football. Another texter says, I feel sorry, I read that one already. We're going to miss you, TJ. We'll still hear you discussing peptides and men who prefer speediness long into the future. That's another thing worth mentioning. I've told Big X if they're out on a remote and they need me, that if you give me enough heads up, I'll try to get out there and be there. And then I hope, regardless of if I get burnt out on doing daily radio where it's like 2 hours a day and I don't ever want to do that again, which is a possibility. There really is like a chance that I'll never do daily radio again.
It's not going to happen, TJ.
I hope it doesn't.
We're putting the full court press on your recruitment.
But I
for the next
can
5 months.
definitively say I'd like to do the postgame show if ESPN had me back, but I don't know if they will or if they won't. They may not. But I would. That's twice a week. Sometimes those are late nights and whatnot. But that's a little less of a time commitment than every day for 2 hours. But I had a blast doing the postgame show, and I've obviously had a blast doing radio for as long as I
enjoy your Jack and I on the way back home from the Missouri game. I was feeling terrible, but we turned on your postgame show, and both of us just started busting out laughing. Get that bozo out of here! We stopped and pressed pause. We were laughing so I was like, man, it's just so funny because the clock goes 0 and you got to just start talking, and it's just that's like the first thing that came out of your mouth, and I was rolling.
That Missouri game was unacceptable. That one really, really ticked me off. Like giving Missouri their first win at Rupp Arena in those circumstances when you're up 8 with 4 minutes. Like, dude, come on! That one really. And then some of the other losses as the season goes on, you kind of get over it. But that is fun. That's the beauty of that postgame show, is just the raw emotion. The game's over, and you're on. It's like, I can't even process it myself, but here we go. Show's going. A texter says, we're going to miss you, TJ. Oh, yeah. He's gone. He wasn't joking. Another texter says, thank you for entertaining me all these years. Who knew that checking out a Game of Thrones podcast would lead to tuning in to daily to KRC? Wishing you all the best. Big blue love, Jolie in Wisconsin. Next time I'm in Wisconsin, Jolie, some cheese curds on you.
Is that what's actually going to go on? You're leaving KRC to resume the Game of Thrones podcast.
I love doing that. That was a lot of fun too, to be able to dork out. But that was about 10 years ago now, which is crazy to think. I'm like out of the Game of Thrones world. At that point I'd been fresh off all the books. I was in the Game of Thrones world. Now I'm just not nearly as big as a loser, I guess.
Just a normie.
Yeah, I'm a normie. A texter says on the Gameday Men's Health text line, you don't want to do a daily radio show anymore. It was fun while it lasted. You're good at it. I do think I do want to do a daily radio show. All right, well, people are so – I'm sorry if you wanted actually a good sports radio show today. You'll always have that Will Stein interview in hour one, but we're probably not going to get to a great deal of sports on today's show. Stuff's kind of hard to talk about, and it's somewhat personal, but like you probably have a right to know if you've listened for as long as you have. Not a labor of love. We get paid, and thankfully we do get paid, but it's not a ton of money. It helps pay some bills, and by the way, breaking news, Tommy Lloyd just announced that he has agreed to stay at Arizona.
Yeah.
Staying in Arizona. All right. I've got a buddy
off the list.
I've got a buddy who's a UNC fan, and I did kind of jinx that because I thought Tommy Lloyd was probably going to go to UNC based on the way he was talking. Turns out he was just negotiating, trying to get that contract through, and sure enough, Arizona comes through. Tommy Lloyd at UNC would have been a monster, so I'm happy he will not go there. That being said, if UNC got any of the coaches from the Final Four, like you'd be thrilled about that if you're a UNC fan. I think Underwood, he's done an unbelievable job at Illinois. Just consistently has been solid. I know Kentucky knocked him out last year, but and he gets good players there, and like that people have never really heard of, or he turns them into good players. So Underwood would do great at UNC if he were to leave. I don't know if he would or wouldn't. I don't think Hurley's looking to get out at UConn, so he probably wouldn't do it. Dusty May's an interesting one, though.
John Calipari.
To UNC? If I was a UNC fan, I'd say, hell yeah. Let's just do it for 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Try to get a bunch of good players in here. Rick Pitino, I don't think he's re-signed up with St. John's.
Okay,
he's happy in New York.
Pete Thamel updated the Tommy Lloyd stuff and added a very interesting quote that he said. He said, Tommy Lloyd was complimentary to UNC and said a reported phone call with Michael Jordan never happened. And the quote says, my Michael Jordan is Steve Kerr.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
Oh, that's good stuff. I guess Steve Kerr played at Arizona, so his Michael Jordan, UNC's.
I really hope that's not what.
I think he's just trying to say a famous Arizona alum.
I just feel like that's the most coach speak thing on the planet I've ever heard.
Yeah. Hey, was anything at the door? What happened there?
It was cupcakes for Easter.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's great. You don't sound excited about that.
I don't think they're for us.
I think they are for us. Why would I say that somebody left us something outside the door and it not be for us?
Because they were Easter cupcakes.
You were expecting it probably to be just tons of women's underwear?
Yes, exactly.
I see. Yeah.
And was very disappointed.
But no, those cupcakes are for us.
It would have been a great Friday, but it's only just a good Friday right now.
There you go, zing. Those cupcakes are for us, so dig in.
Oh, okay.
Wait, they're broadcasting the practices from the Final Four? That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Did you see all the Illinois fans?
No, but are you surprised?
I know they have a huge fan base, and I learned that last year in Milwaukee.
They haven't been to a Final Four in 21 years.
Is it 05?
Yeah. So and it's not far. It's close, drivable, easy.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'm a little surprised there's so many of them there at a practice, but
Friday.
If Duke would have made the Final Four, that would have been probably one of the toughest tickets. All right, let's check out these cupcakes. I am fasting today, so I probably won't eat it, but I may. Oh, I think these are from Plin's.
Wow. Did you get these?
I did not get these. They were dropped off. Anybody listening? Anybody paying attention to the show?
Anybody alive out there? No, there's I just assumed that you had something to do with it because you were so. No, these are for us.
Correct. Everybody is shocked. Peak joked and was like, I'm going to get a cheese pizza today, but Good Friday.
Well, it wasn't a joke.
Two fast days of the year, Ash Wednesday, Good Friday. So I'm not eating. But I did tell Peak, I was like, I could drink a big beer, though. Like, I can't eat today. I'm fasting, but I do have to drink something. So if you wanted, but no beer. No, but they didn't even give me a beer. Unbelievable. They get to enjoy cupcakes on my last day. I'm kidding.
I feel bad about it. But I'm gonna
those
enjoy the
cupcakes probably going to be some of the best cupcakes you've ever had in your life.
Really? Where are they from?
Plins.
Oh, okay.
You should be a Plins.
I'll wait
fan.
until after the break.
All right. Anyways, what I was saying though is just like I
Pretty good cupcake.
I just feel like I need to make an adult decision, and it's not like I'm hurting for. We're very blessed and very lucky, and like could similar to UK's nil situation could always use more money, but I'm in a solid position. Like if you would have told kid TJ this is the life I'm living, I wouldn't have believed it. I really would not have. So like again, I don't want to act like I'm doing this strictly for money, but people in radio are just underpaid, and that's just the name of the game in the business. And they work hard, and we just you have different roles in radio, obviously. But I did it because it was fun, and I enjoyed doing it. And I didn't care about the money, and I still don't really necessarily care about the money. But being a little burnt out, you just factor in all the things, and it's just like I don't know if I want to keep doing this for 2 hours a day for this pay with everything else I've got going on in my life. So if like, somebody came in and said, we will pay you triple what you're making, then I could be talked into doing radio because I do think I'm good at it, and I have had an absolute blast doing it. And I got a little emotional talking with the wife earlier this morning, and I'm not going to try to get emotional on the show today. We'll see how that goes. But it's just I kind of feel like, you're putting away the baseball glove and the hat, and you're kind of just hanging it up like a dream of mine, like to talk on radio. I remember my sister would make fun of me because I would play Madden or college football, and I would like broadcast the game. Like I'd put it on mute, and I would be like, Aaron Rodgers drops back. And I remember one time she like recorded me and thought I'd be embarrassed by it. And I was like, no, I love doing this stuff. I love talking sports. It's fun. I can't believe I was able to write about UK basketball. I mean, again, you would have told kid TJ what I got to do. Did it at Rivals, a website that I was on all the time. And then I got to work there and be the basketball recruiting analyst. I thought that was so cool. And then KSR, another website that I read all the time. They hired me. They were so impressed with the job I did at Cats Illustrated that they wanted me. And I was that was an honor, truly. And I've said this, and this is no disrespect to the folks at Big X. I love Big X. The people that I worked with at KSR were the nicest people. That was a hard time. We lost a buddy of ours right when I accepted the job, and I will remember their kindness forever. Tyler, Maria, Jack, Roush, you, Peak, obviously. If I'm forgetting anybody else at KSR, but that crew was so great to me. But I just, I kind of got burnt out on recruiting and covering 16 and 15 and 17-year-olds. And it made it easier to leave KSR. And I couldn't, I was like, do you really want to do this? You've worked so hard to get to this spot, and you're really just saying that you're going to step away from it? And part of the reason why it was easy to say yes to that, or easier, I guess, was because I have radio. Like, I'll get my sports fix on radio. I get to talk with my buddy Roush every day for 2 hours. Like, I'll be all right. Like, this is probably better for me and my family. It's hard to move on from the writing, but I'll at least have radio. So saying goodbye to this is hard. Like, I feel like for a long time, this has been a dream, and it still is. Like, talking sports to get paid for it, even if it's for $1. It's like, what? I do it for free. I will do it for free. I have done it for free. It's just it's a blessing, but I just feel like at this time I need to take a break and figure out what I want to do in the fall. And hopefully I'll get to keep doing the post-game show, but no idea if that will be a reality. And then I hope that I come back and feel rejuvenated, and then Peak, we keep things rolling and calling in the fall. I don't think that that's impossible either. I lean towards probably not where things stand right now, but I haven't taken the break yet. So maybe once I get the break, maybe I'll be a week in. Maybe after spending a week with my family down in Florida.
I'm going to love
extended family.
Back in July.
Maybe I'll go crazy and be like, I need. But this has been such a beautiful outlet for me, and just cannot thank you all enough for listening. Let's keep reading some text into the Gameday Men's Health text line. All this talk about the banana stand is going to have Dr. Miss Money Mook asked for another little Mook. But wait, are you having a baby? What does this mean, Mook? Also, congrats to Dr. Money Mook, who officially signed her contract for a faculty position in cancer research institution near you. She has worked 10 years to get to this point, and we are very proud of her, and that's from Mook. That's incredible. And I, like Mook, I've gotten to meet, been inside Mook's house before. Like, that's the beauty of this radio show, this job, this text line. If you're having another kid, Mook, congrats. That's awesome. If you're not, that was confusing, but all the same, congrats to your wife, who is awesome, and she deserves that. So that's great. TJ, not trying to sound like a dramatic female, but I'm legitimately sick that you're leaving KRC. Whoever is in charge of paying you all, can they please start paying you all like respectable adults? Surely they have made more money with ratings going up since the start. This isn't the peanut gallery. And that's been another, like, kind of hard part, is, like, feeling like I have failed, because if I did a better job, there'd be more, like, like that stuff would take care of itself. And that's hard, because you feel like you're giving up on a dream that I don't have to give up. But I kind of feel like I do at this time. So it is hard.
But you had this show. You've been doing this for 13 years. I would think it's hard to say that that's a failure.
Sure. But, like, again, if this is somewhat financially driven, that's probably the lead backer in all this. And it's like, well, if you did a better job, that wouldn't be an issue, right? Like, so that's what kind of stinks. But whatever. It will be okay. And you all will not. No, nobody's going to miss listening to me on radio.
That's not true, first of all, at all.
Everybody will be all right. Understandable, I'm siding with you, labor over management, as I always do. Pay folks a living wage. Don't complain when they leave if you don't. No, everybody at the station has been awesome. And listen, if they had more money to give to a ton of people, they would. Like, it's just radio, and you know what you're getting into. And for 13 years, I was cool with it. And I think for the first, 2 years, I didn't get paid, I don't think. I haven't asked for a raise ever, as a matter of fact. When they did the toll bridges, I was like, all right, the station can pay for my tolls. We were going over every day in southern Indiana. I was like, that's my raise. You all can pay me an extra $50 a month, and you all can cover my toll expenses. So
they did do that, though?
They did. That was to say, like, I have never gotten a raise. I did get a $50 raise several years back. But, you don't do it for the money. And I haven't done it for the money, but I just kind of need to. I've got 2 kids. I need to kind of focus on having a good summer and seeing where things go from there.
Can you do me a favor? When you do your Twitter spaces, can you just not do them from, 12
to noon? Sure.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
You won't have to worry about that. Meanwhile, Roush going on Feinbaum during our show every other week.
It is weird. I was telling him that the other day, seeing his studio at his house, and it's like, oh, I've been in the SEC Network studio. This is crazy.
Very happy for Roush, too. It's awesome seeing him and all his success. TJ, you do a great job. I'm going to miss you. Well, thank you. We'll miss you all. TJ, more than sports takes, I feel like we've been through life together, heartbreak and elation, and not from UK. You got this, brother. I'm cutting onions my damn self. I'm fine. I really am. I'm fine. I just, it's the finality of all of it makes me a little sad. A texter says, TJ, not try. Oh, we got that one. Blah, 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 blah. Des Moines guy here. TJ, you'll be missed, buddy. I started listening back in 2017 when I first moved to Louisville and have been listening ever since we moved back to Iowa. As Peak said, we will be backing up the Brink truck to recruit you back. Best of luck, sir. And keep listening. Keep listening to Peak. He's going to do a great job with it. He's got his own kind of plans with it, too, which I'm excited about. One thing that I'd say the biggest difference from doing radio with Roush and doing radio with Peak, and I've loved both of them genuinely, is it was much sillier with Roush. So, and there are people who like that. They loved, we can get our sports talk, whatever. I like hearing people be goofy and fighting and arguing and doing that stuff. But with you, I do feel like if you're a sports radio fan, this show improved when you jumped on. We do real sports talk radio where we will talk about a topic for 20 minutes. We will attack it from every angle. If you are into that type of stuff, this has probably been a real treat for you. And I'm sorry to step away, but you will be in good hands with Peak. He's got fun stuff planned for the show. And I just beg that you give him a shake and listen. And then, like I said, I'll be popping on every so often. So you never know. You may get a surprise in there. This is, let's see.
I got one here. It's actually from my mom. She said, tell him that I wish him an enjoyable and relaxing leave of absence.
There we go.
That's all.
I like
and
that.
She says I've enjoyed listening to him when I can.
That's very nice.
So.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Let's take our last commercial break. We'll come back. One final segment. Read your text into the Game Day Men's Health text line. Kentucky Roll Call. Big X Sports Radio. Billy.
I fear I'll never know the feeling.
Roll Call was a great name for a morning radio show. I was proud of that one coming up with that one. That was so keep the name. Don't go changing Kentucky Roll Call. That needs to stay in the universe.
That was going to be the first thing that I did. Actually, was take this thing you've built up where I get roll calls wherever I'm at. I'm like, this first thing I need to do is get rid of it. Get rid of the branding and just start over. No, we're keeping roll call. But I do feel this, like, immense pressure. I mean, I used to listen to this show before. I mean, I knew you from the Louisville City stuff, and I knew Roush from just reading KSR and all of that. But it was, you all had been doing the show for a couple years before I, like, discovered it and listened several times a week, maybe not every day, but definitely like 3 to 4, sometimes every day. You all were a little bit too early for me working nights, so I was a podcast listener, and I went that first time that I got to go talk with you guys in the studio in Indiana. We were doing a thing for WHAS 11, and from that point, and just to get to come in here on Wednesdays for a little while and last summer and get to be a part of it was just the coolest thing for me. I just remember when you reached out to me, I was just so excited. And then it was weird to me with Roush leaving and getting to sit in his seat and not. I definitely don't feel like I am deserving of, like, you guys just were so good at this. And I mean, I know that people that I worked with at KSR would constantly, we were constantly talking about how good at radio you and Roush are, and like, I do feel this pressure to kind of keep this thing going and to bring the energy that you guys brought. And I think that some of the people have coming in to help out, at least in the summer, are going to really help with that. And I think it's going to be a fun show. But I'm not TJ Walker and I'm not Nick Roush, and to try to fill your all shoes is an impossible task.
That's a blessing on both accounts.
But
you're Stephen Peak, and you'll have, just if you're having fun with it, people notice that stuff. And if you're not, people notice that stuff. And I think that's honestly part of the reason why I'm going to take a little break and hope that I get re-energized, is just because I don't think I could fake this summer 2 hours a day. It just wouldn't be good radio. I don't think it'd be all that entertaining. And there would be days that you're having a horrible day and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to go talk radio. Shockingly, those days, it's funny how radio would kind of turn around a day in instances. And then some days you'd be having a good day, and then whatever reason, radio, you had a bad show, or you felt like you stumbled a bunch or whatever, and it could kind of turn your day around. It's funny how that would work. But just like the things you're talking about. Be passionate about what you're discussing, and that stuff translates. People can tell. So you'll do a great job because you're passionate about the things that you're going to be discussing. So that stuff will take care of itself. I know you said during the commercial break you wanted some advice.
Yes, I do. I would. What did we got? 18 minutes.
18 minutes.
18 minutes left. What's some tips you can give me to keep this show going so that it's still going strong? We don't lose any listeners. Maybe we'll even gain a few, and then when you come back, we'll be in a good position. What do you got for me?
I'm going to recommend this guy named Trevor Kelsey. That's going to be my first piece of advice.
Okay.
There's part of me that just wants to talk about all the old Big X Sports radio days.
Yeah, we can do that too.
It's kind of what this.
You can tell me the advice.
You just be passionate about what you're talking about and be friendly to the listeners. Like, read the text. Always, you can fall back on the text machine. You can fall back to the texter, see what they're talking about, or what they want to hear you and producer Matt, and if Jacob's in that day or Corey Price is in that day. They're there for you, and you should use them. And that y'all are the best. I can't say enough good things about the text line over the years. And then, be prepared. Know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it, because people can tell. And I would get caught, doing radio for 13 years. Sometimes I would talk about things I didn't know, and it came off, and I would feel like an idiot. And I never really liked that feeling. So just, you got this. You got it. It'll be a good show. I'm excited about it. This show's the best, says one texter. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bardstown Bill says, great job, TJ. Going to miss you. Thanks, Bardstown Bill. With those extra 2 hours, maybe you can practice your 15-foot jump shot. I need to get my free throws down. It was rough. I probably shot, no joke, probably 53% from the free throw line this past session. It was horrible.
Whoa.
I know. I'm not too far off from. It was just a touch thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just haven't had. And I don't have a basketball goal either. My old house, I used to be able to go out and shoot hoops. But yeah, I get excited for the next summer session for Martha basketball. A texter says, South End Josh here. TJ, it's not goodbye. It's see you later. See you in the fall, buddy. Enjoy a much-deserved break. Thank you for helping create the South End Josh character and the platform for a lot of ranting and voicing frustrations. Here's to being back in the fall and having some joyous post-game calls. Take care, buddy. God bless. Thanks, South End Josh. I really appreciate you calling in on the post-game shows. Everybody who's ever texted on this show, post-game show, whatever it may be, genuinely cannot thank you all enough. And South End Josh, you got to keep calling in. If we're able to do the post-game show, you got to keep calling in. What else? There's something else I was going to say to you. I'll maybe see you at a picnic. Probably run into you at a picnic this summer. 502-414-1450, Gameday Men's Health text line. South End Josh, that one. Mook is not having a kid that he knows of. It says, all seriousness, I'm sorry to see you go. You guys have been daily staple of our lives for 8 years, and we will miss you. This has not been a failure. It's just your time for your next adventure from Mook. Yeah, and again, like I don't think when you do radio for 13 years and you're stepping away on your own accord that it's a failure. That's not the right word for it. But all this stuff could have taken care of itself if I were just maybe a little bit better. So that's what I think. And I'm always going to be tough on myself in that regard. But it's been a blast. It's been so much fun. And hopefully keep it good times rolling in the fall for a Will Stein football season, because I think it's going to be fun to cover him. I think it's going to be a fun season, even if it's 6-6 or 7-5, just the newness and a new offense and not having to hope that, all right, well, the opposing team has 20 points. They've probably too many for us. It's probably just they've probably outraced what our offense can put up. So it's going to be a fun fall. And then there's just nothing better than when Kentucky basketball's rocking and rolling. So, that would probably be a good way to get me back in. I know we talked about that a little bit earlier. If UK was better, would I still be doing this? I think I'd still be taking a break after 13 years regardless. But there's just nothing better than UK basketball, previewing a game, talking about a game, recapping one, doing recruiting. The transfer portal is a fun time. It's starting a little bit later this year, but you're going to have plenty of content with the transfer portal.
We'll bring on some guests, too, that are really in the weeds with that as we, it's going to be a lot. It's going later this year.
Thank you, TJ, for 13 years experience. This is Patrick Murphy. Hey, Patrick, thanks for showing up to the remotes. I really appreciated that. It has been fun listening to you the past 2 to 3 years. I will listen to Peak and Matt. Also keep stats for trivia. You're the man, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Question for Will Stein. With all his connections to the Louisville area, will you still recruit from this area and possibly southern Indiana? Oh, he most certainly will. And Salsaritas for life would keep TJ on air. What if they did offer that? They're just like, we can't pay you, but we can pay you in Salsaritas.
Okay. Dude, that might be like that. That might be a pretty good deal, though.
I'd have to think about it. I'm easy to work with, I think. Wildly addictive chips, possibly. Text. We're all over the text line, by the way. So if I don't get to yours today, I'm sorry. TJ, I just love you so much. I'm honestly mad that you're leaving and don't love you anymore. How could you? Obviously, I'm not kidding, but I do wish you nothing but happiness. Hope to hear you again sooner than later. Robert, sorry to see you go, TJ. It's crazy how this show has been a part of my life for 13 years, starting with Trevor, adding in Nick and Scoots, and now the current crew. You've always been the rock of the show, and I know it's been hard to maintain something that seems like a passion project from the outside looking in. It's crazy, man. This show has been a legit anchor through many ups and downs of my life and many of these life changes we experience at the same time, just from afar. Kids, job changes, marriage, with so many other moments. Take this deserved time off, go enjoy, and hopefully that passion comes back this fall, and we can all get back together at your local Ford dealer and tailgate between breaks and have the manager ask us to stop. Much love, my man. As always, if you or the show needs anything, I'm always here. Thanks, Robert. You're the man. And that's funny. So one of the best things about this job, and, again, like, I was always just allowed to say, I didn't have a boss coming down. So shout out to Dugan. I didn't ever have a boss be like, hey, don't talk about that. Did you say that? No, we need you to talk this, or you need to be doing that. Or, don't touch on that subject. He has given me literally just free reign. And that's a beautiful thing. I don't think that's the norm. I don't think if I went to another station that I would have that kind of flexibility. And it's been fun. But that was the one time he said not to mention it, is when that time that you're referencing, Robert. intern Jacob had never had a Space Dust beer before. So a listener brought Space Dust beers.
Okay.
And this person that worked at this store was just not happy with the idea of beers being cracked in his business. And totally fair. Totally fair. We should have been like, hey, I know that this is your business. Do you care? Yeah, so we were asked not to discuss that. The last day, I'll bring it up. That's all right. Texter says, I'd get out of Dodge, too, if I had to interview Will Stein through a tin can. That's a great text. I know he's feeling burnt out, but can we put the T back in TJ by giving him Gameday Men's Health a call? Give him a ring, and we'll see you on Monday. Ryan from Freedom Hall. Dang Sports Talker, we got that one. I feel like you got to get back to work. You'll be greatly missed. TJ, hope you're super successful, and we're in good hands with Pete. God bless you, Sports Talker. Thank you for that. Thank you, Tej. You were a big motivation for us to get into the podcasting game, and we appreciate the invites you've given us over the years. We appreciate your support. We're up to no good crew. Oh, we're up to no good crew. I love you all so much. I see so much of myself in you all, and you all can relate to passion projects and doing it as a labor of love, but that's why I promoted you all so much, is because that, how else does anybody get their start? You got to get promoted.
Real awesome.
Dylan Ballard, he's been great to the show over the years. Big Blue Drew has been amazing with the show. Obviously, Corey Price, he takes the time to put all that stuff together every Thursday. And, I do feel like the Thursday trivia segment can go long at times, but fun hanging out with Corey. He's a good dude. So I just enjoyed kind of being around him. Who else am I missing to forget to give a shout out? Obviously, all the producers over the year. Producer Matt, it's been just a treat getting to know you. You're great at this. You can go far in this business if you want to. Roman, he's cool. He's great as well. I love seeing the Kings recognize his talent. And producer Matt, you'll get recognized sooner than later. I promise you that. Mike Rutherford has been great. Our daughters aren't in the same grade, but I think his son and my daughter will be. They're both 1 or 2, so they've got some time. Or no, the 4-year-old. He's got a kid that's going to be in a grade at my daughter's school, so I'll see more of him. He's incredibly talented as well. Big X is lucky to have him. Michael Bennett has been very friendly over the years. John Spears, I love that show. Maybe they'll bring me on as a sidekick there. I just think that's grumpy old man radio, and I just get such a kick out of it. And Scooch with those guys is a perfect little blend. So let's see, of course, Scoots. He gave me a big hug when I came in today, and that means a lot. He is genuinely just a good friend. Scoots is a great dude. He is so funny. That was so fun doing radio with him. Yeah, that was a blast. And then Trevor Kelsey, you gotta love him. He he probably got me to fall in love with radio to a certain extent, because he was so silly and so goofy, and just any show could go in any direction. And there's just something so great about radio when something so unpredictable as Trevor Kelsey exists in this world. So, and then David Yates, who got me started as well, and that was fun. Back 13 years ago, we did. It was just terrible radio, of course, but it was fun. And I remember, I thought it was cool having a radio show. And my girlfriend at the time, we went up to Indy in 2014, and I did the show from a hotel lobby in Indy. UK U of L Sweet 16 game, we were rocking and rolling, and I could tell that the girlfriend at the time thought it was moderately impressive. I don't think she was blown away or anything like that, but she thought it was maybe a little bit cool that she was kind of dating somebody that was in radio. Now there's podcasts everywhere, and I don't consider myself anything special. I just am lucky and blessed and fortunate. Thanks, Tej. Another texter said, you did a great job, TJ. Radio's tough business, and you killed it, man. It's one of the best UK sports shows ever. You created it. Well, thanks. I really appreciate all these kind words. Been listening to you since you started radio. We were around the same age, and it was always nice to hear someone my age going through the same. Oh, did I already read that one? Sorry. No, going through the same phases of life. But best of luck to you and the girls. Hopefully you'll be back to fill the airwaves with bad football or bad food takes. Bad food takes. I have the best food takes. And some decent sports talks. Love you, TJ. Thank you. I love you all as well. Somebody sent me a really nice message that I wanted to read just because, gosh, I was sad, and then I read this, and it made me feel a little bit better. But they said, hey, TJ, thanks so much for all that you've done to be a bright spot in Kentucky sports media in a space often maligned with anonymous accounts, hot take, pot-stirring losers, and snobby, holier-than-thou media members, you've always been the most consistent, honest, engaging media personality I've come across. And I appreciate everybody saying nice things about me, but you all are being far too kind. And I don't, we joke about the humble stuff, but I'm a nobody. Like, I'm just a dude that likes sports like you do, and can talk about it. And I'm maybe a little quick at times with like a silly joke, but that's about it. I'm just like anybody else. Your ability to be so inviting and welcoming and gift for giving people the platform to share their minds, for better or worse, is truly one of a kind, and dare I say Christ-like. Hope that's not weird for me to say, but you've been clear about your spirituality, and it's obvious you have the aroma of Christ on you by how you interact with strangers on the internet. With that said, I hope you find the balance and peace you were desiring during your sabbatical from radio, and while I hope to listen to you again in the fall, I'll totally understand if you don't, and we'll be happy either way. I pray nothing but good things for you and your family. And that was from Alex from Colga. And Alex, like, genuinely, thank you so much. That was a nice message, and I can't think of a better compliment, honestly, than just to be compared to Christ in any capacity, and on Good Friday, no less. And I did want to say that, and, I'm not one that tries to, like, interject. I like talking politics, but I didn't want to think that, like, my political opinion was better than yours. I felt like I maybe was on the right side of some things, but, like, I wanted to hear, I always was down to hear the other side. And I never wanted to come on here and, like, be a religious preacher. And not that I think there's anything wrong with that, but, like, this was a sports talk, silly radio show, and that's what I wanted it to be. But if we got into other areas, then we'd get into other areas. So I'm not trying to beat anybody over the head over this, but the best decision I have ever made is, like, I don't know, 5 years ago probably, strengthening my relationship with Jesus. And my life is just, there's hard days and there's hard months and there's been hard years as of late. But it's just having a relationship with Jesus. I cannot recommend it enough. I was never like a religious person. I was never a spiritual person. But if you invite him into your heart, you will be shocked with the results. But it's like any relationship, you grow and it changes over time. But there's nothing better in the world than Jesus Christ, and he loves you. And he loves me, and just, it wasn't really until I held my daughter to know what, like, that universal love felt like. And then how I felt for my daughter is how Jesus loves us. And it all clicked for me, like, right there in that moment, holding my daughter, being like, oh my, like, this man, God, came down to earth and lived on earth and died for our sins. And, on Good Friday, it's even heavier just thinking about the sacrifice he made for all of us. So I would highly recommend finding a relationship with Jesus, strengthening your relationship with Jesus. You don't have to be a Catholic. You don't, I would recommend being a Christian, though, and believing in Jesus Christ, because there is a life after this. We will answer for our sins, and but luckily Jesus loves us, so we'll have eternal paradise. All right, that was weird. Sorry about that. See you next week, TJ, says one texter. Wink. Yeah, I thought about pulling a Michael Scott, just not showing up today. Don't forget intern Jacob and the silent whisper of intern Amber. Yeah, intern Jacob. We had two intern Jacobs, right? Or was that an intern Josh? But intern Jacob, I think he works for Shady Rays now. He was the man. He was fun. He was fun to have on the golf scramble. Great. We're going to do the Big X golf scramble, by the way. So we'll get that. That's a really fun radio day, Peak. You'll love doing that. I'm still going to help out with it. I'll be there. Cool. I'll play. Maybe get blackout drunk on the course, have a good time.
Then jump on the radio.
Just be like any other year. 502. That sucked. I broke my thumb literally, 5 days before the Big X golf scramble?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So I didn't get to play in it, but I just drove around. Don't forget, intern Amber, such funny times. Intern Amber. Oh, I would love to know the story, how she even got the intern gig there. If you don't know intern Amber, she was this high school student that just hated sports. I mean, and she hated talking too. So it was like, all right, sports talk radio, perfect internship for you. You hate talking and you hate sports. All the cats as well. Yeah, the cats at the old station. That old station was a trip. Really, that was funny. I don't know if it'd be like a good TV series, but just roused myself, figuring out life, going to this station where a couple people lived, but it wasn't a house, but they still lived there. And everything was falling apart. Sometimes you find just a homeless person on the front porch of the station. It's all right. Just step over them, see if they're doing okay. it's been a blast, you all. It really has. And I don't think this will be a forever goodbye. I don't think. I don't know if in the fall I'm going to be hungry to get back into daily radio, but I could be. I really just genuinely, you all can hear it in my voice. I genuinely have no clue. But I need a break. I need a reset, and kind of focus on family and the job that pays the bills. But not that this has ever been about money, but it's kind of getting to be late, I guess, in that regard. So hopefully I'll be back someday, and this won't be a forever goodbye. But if it were, you all, this has been a blast. Go Cats. Better days ahead for UK athletics. It's been brutal as of late, but go Big Blue. Just a Kentuckian that loved UK sports like y'all listening. It's been a privilege and a blessing, and I hope you all have a good weekend and be safe. Stephen Peak, you'll do a great job, buddy. I can't wait to listen every noon to 2 on Big X Sports Radio. For one final time, he is Stephen Peak, he is producer Matt Childress, and I am TJ Walker, the Sports Stalker. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio.
Best of